Welcome to PlayPianoToday.com. This is a quick overview of Chapter 2 taken from the piano lesson series titled How to Match Chords Up with Any Melody. In this second chapter of this series, we're moving into the realm of the powerful concept of learning to substitute chords for one another. This gives your songs all kinds of brand new life. Specifically in this chapter, we're going to look at something called simple chord substitution. Enjoy. Now, if you were in a college music theory class, the title of this chapter would be something like Early Advanced Harmonization Techniques, or some other mouthful like that. But it's actually pretty accurate. The stuff that we'll dig into this chapter and beyond really falls into the realm of music theory. This is one of those lessons that's going to involve lots of information that really separates those who are well-rounded musicians from those who just like to play tricks and maybe a few licks on the keyboard. I'm not trying to scare you off. I just want to let you know that when you get into harmonization and advanced chord substitution, it's a bit like the classes that pilots have to sit through. You know, there's lots of study about weather patterns and aircraft hydraulics and blah, blah, blah. But when those fighter jocks take to the sky, they know what's happening, why it's happening, and how to be the most effective pilot that they possibly can. Look out. So strap on your wings and let's dig into the second chapter of how to match chords up with any melody, or if you like, early advanced harmonization techniques. In the first section of this chapter, we focus on minor scales and how the 5 chord in a minor scale has a real unique position. It can actually become major. Let's check it out. Now, like any language, music has got some rules and it's got some exceptions. Remember I talked about how the 5 chord in minor keys can sometimes be major? In fact, a lot of times it'll be changed to major. Why is that? It has to do with something called the leading tone. Now, you've heard of the leading man or the leading lady in a movie. They're very important people. The leading tone in music is super fantastic important. Let's take a look at it. The leading tone, while very simple to understand, is one of the most powerful devices in music. It's simply a half step below the root. Now, that note does not show up in D natural minor at all, does it? But we artificially introduce it into D harmonic minor. D harmonic minor is an artificial scale. It's not organic, but it's still good for you. D natural minor. Let's jump to a section of the lesson now where we're going over an example of that. We'll be harmonizing a simple minor melody, but when we get to the 5 chord, which is normally minor, we're going to use the leading tone to change it into a major chord and check out the result. This is going to be very simple for you. We've done this a bit now in major keys. We're going to do it on a minor key, but you're going to get to the point where you can actually do this on the fly. But let's walk through it very quickly. I'm just a poor. Obviously, that's going to be the 1 chord. Outlines it perfectly. Wayfaring stranger. That predominant G note there in the second phrase, it's not going to be the 1 chord. It's not going to be the 5 chord, or even the major 5 chord, right? It's going to be the 4 chord. Fair and stranger, the 1 chord. Traveling through, 4 again. Now, here's where we're going to play that raised leading tone to give the 5 a major character, which is such a powerful, strong sound. Makes me want to play a little bit. And it really drives the music back to the 1 chord. But there's no sickness, toil or danger. You got this. Up to the 4 chord and back to 1. Now, what if we didn't play the raised leading tone when we got to 5? What if we played it as an A minor chord? This is the point in the lesson where we start looking at the mechanics of simple chord substitution. Which chords will substitute for one another and why?